It's back, y'all. I know it took a long fucking while. Don't get mad at me. Shit. Hey, goddamn it, we back. All right, so let's start off with a legendary group and quit the bitching. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad Wooly, and you are here again for another edition of CDK Studies. It's back, motherfucker. Today, we're going to the book and talking about one of the most iconic and legendary hip-hop crews, groups, bands, all that shit ever in the history of ever, goddammit. These motherfuckers been in the game for a hot minute, almost 2 decades. Well, they've been together for 2 decades, but they've been releasing music for about, you know what, fuck it, 2 decades. We're just gonna go that, make it easy, goddammit. It consists of legendary MC Black Thought, legendary drummer Questlove, and then a whole bunch of other niggas. You know how bands be, they be together and then they leave because they want to do other shit, or they get mad, or they ain't getting paid, some shit like this. Shit happens. But all through that, they have stood the test of time and they have reached legendary status. We are talking about the one, the only, The Roots. So we're gonna go open the book right here. We're gonna talk about some of my favorite and only Roots albums I own. Now here's the thing, the Roots dropped like 13 projects, like 11 solo joints, and then some collaborative shit. I ain't got time for all that, yo. I only got 2 physical Roots albums, and these are the 2 physical Roots albums that really got me into the Roots, actually, which is a crazy thing because like everything else on Roots I own is digital because, you know, I'm lazy. I ain't got time to hold all these fucking CDs and shit. That's too much, goddammit. But here's a little interesting story time, y'all. Let me tell you how I got into the Roots because it was very weird and unique, but yet I guess it made, I don't fucking know, does it make sense? Whatever, we're gonna do this shit. So around, I would say about 2004? Yeah, 2004, I was just getting into the underground hip hop. I was into the rocky shit and Stone's Throw and Rhyme Sayers and all that good shit. And you know, I knew of Black Thought. I knew Black Thought because he was on the Quali album. He did some other shit. I was like, yo, I know who Black Thought is. That motherfucker spit. But I didn't know he was a part of a crew called The Roots. I didn't know that shit. So I was like watching TV, I think it was like MTV was on, and they was playing music videos, and they played this video for this song called Don't Say Nothing. And I was like, this motherfucker sounds familiar. I said, oh shit, that's Black Thought, but why does it say The Roots? And then I realized the nigga was in a group called The Roots. And then I was like, okay, that's dope shit. But I didn't immediately go out and like go buy this shit. I thought that was just fucking dope. And then like a little bit later, like a few months later, I was on Music Choice. You know the shit on cable where you can listen to the music and shit? I was on that shit on the hip hop channel, and then they played this other crazy dope song, and it said by The Roots. It was called The Next Movement, and I was like, fuck it, I gotta get some Roots in my life. So I went to the store and I copped the only 2 albums that I could reference from because those are the 2 songs were on those 2 separate albums. I said, I gotta get these joints, and I was broke as fuck. I could only afford 2 albums, y'all, nigga. I didn't have a job. I had to borrow money for them shit, and fucking doesn't matter. It got to the point where I got the goddamn albums. And the first album we'll talk about is the one that was pretty much considered their career-defining, their breakthrough album, the one that really got them on the map, and we're talking about none other than Things Fall Apart. And this album right here had the song that got me, it just sealed the deal for me. It was called The Next Movement. I love that fucking song. But this joint had a lot of other crazy joints on here. I mean, you got Act 2, Act 1, Dynamite, The Spark. You know what? There's so many goddamn songs on here. That's just, the whole album's fucking dope. This is a motherfucking classic to me. I love this fucking album. I love the production on here. It's mostly done by the Grand Wizards, but you also got some shit from Scott Storch on here because he was like partially a member of The Roots. He also, Jay Dilla did some shit on here. Of course, you know, it was tight. And it was just an album that really just spoke as far as like a hip hop group is concerned. The Roots were on point. I mean, Black Thought was killing everything in this goddamn album. I mean, Questlove was on the drums doing the drum thing. The whole band was on point. The fucking subject matter was on here. Everything on here was just a powerful, just like, I mean, when you get a Roots album, it's just so powerful and just so many things that are just, I mean, I can't even explain it. It's just fucking dope. Just all I can say is Roots albums are fucking dope, and this is probably one of their best albums. I think it was certified gold. Now it's certified platinum. I think it's their first platinum album, but this is the one that really just put them at the forefront and just broke them through as a mainstay in the hip hop world and just in the music world in general. So if you have not heard Things Fall Apart, your life was falling apart because you fucking up, especially on the hip hop side. Get this album in your life. It is a classic. So many dope songs on here. So much dope production on here. Black Thought's killing it. Features are crazy. And it's just, I mean, it's just crazy. And another thing I should know, a lot of cool thing about Roots albums is like the way that they title the numbers of their tracks. They don't do like one to blank, one to whatever, like with every song. They just continue it. So from their very first album all the way to where they're at now, they just continue the numbers. So like this is like tracks 50, I think, hold on, 50, it's like 55 to 70, something like this, like in the 50 to 60 range of these songs right here. And they just continue that, which is really fucking dope. And I don't think anybody else does that, not to my knowledge, that does that with their albums, and have continued to do it throughout the entire career. So that's another little thing that I like about the Roots, which is really unique. But get this album. It's fucking dope. Even though it's the fucking silver shit where you can see the camera. It's okay, Roots. It's okay because I still love you and you're still one of the greatest. The next album I'm gonna talk about, y'all, is the album that really made me realize that Black Thought wasn't a solo nigga. He was in a group and it was called The Roots. And this album is actually, I wouldn't say it's dope. I really like this album, but I don't think it's like their most like critically acclaimed album. This album came in the wake of like everybody in the group pretty much left. Like Malik B, who was another rapper, he left. Some other motherfuckers left because they went to do other things. So like the Roots were sort of like in a rebuilding phase, but the core of the motherfuckers, Questlove and Black Thought, they've always been there. They were the creators of the group, so you know they held it down and they brought this album that's called The Tipping Point. And this shit dropped in 2004, and this features this single called Don't Say Nothing, which is a song that really made me be like, yo, this is Black Thought, he's in the Roots, and this is a dope song. And I really like that fucking song. And here's the thing, y'all, I think Black Thought invented like the mumble rap thing. He's the first person to do it. You know, you didn't understand what the fuck that nigga was saying on that hook, but it was dope. He's like, man, no, man, nigga, man, give it here and don't say no. Like, we was like, what the fuck is he saying? I don't know, but it's fire, nigga. So I'm gonna bump this shit. But the verses, he was spitting. But that hook, you know damn well you know what the fuck he was saying. We had to look that shit up. I looked it up. I still don't remember, but like, don't matter because like he wasn't saying shit at the point. But it's a dope album. A lot of crazy cuts on here. And this is one of their shorter albums. It was only like 10 songs long and it really wasn't much to it. Like I said, because the Roots were sort of in like that rebuilding phase in a way. Questlove did most of the production. Also Scott Storch did some shit on here. And it just was an album that came out. It had some good cuts, but I think they were also in the wake of like the members leaving the group, and then they were done being over at MCA. It was Geffen at the point, same shit. They were all fucking cancerous, so they were just done with that shit. They were ready to get the fuck up off the label. So it was just like all that shit was going on, but they still were able to crank out a really good fucking album. You had songs like Star Pointro, and of course Don't Say Nothing, like I said, Guns Are Drawn, Somebody's Gotta Do It, Boom. I mean, a lot of crazy songs up on here, and the features on here were really good. They had Jean Grey, Dice Raw was on here, Devin the Dude was on this motherfucker, Lateef, Aaron Livingston, and some other motherfuckers who like I said, it's been a hot minute, y'all, but a lot of motherfuckers were on here for a 10-song album. They had a good amount of features on here, but it still was just a very solid album. And this is the album that really sort of just like got me up onto the Roots, but really didn't seal the deal. It was like, yo, it peaked. This is the album that piqued my interest about really checking out the Roots, because like I said, I thought Black Thought was just a solo mofo until this shit came along. And then when I heard the Things Fall Apart shit, I was like, yo, I gotta check this out. And from that point on, I was a certified Roots fan. I went back on the digital side and got all the other Roots albums prior to that. I got Phrenology, I got Illadelph Half-Life, Organics, all that shit. And even the shit after that, you got Game Theory, and Then You Shoot Your Cousin, Undone, all the other, they got a lot of albums. And they had some collaboration. They had a collaborative album with John Legend called Wake Up. They did some other shit too. I mean, the Roots have been doing a lot of things, and more recently, they are the house band for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, so they getting that NBC money, so they eating. The Roots are eating all kinds of ways, and I'm glad to see that they've succeeded. They've been in the game for so long. They deserve all the success they've gotten, and I think Black Thought is one of the most underrated MCs of all time. He is not in the conversation as much as he should be, even with me. Like, sometimes I forget to mention Black Thought when it comes to the greatest MCs of all time, but this dude is a legend. He is a beast. You cannot tell me, anytime Black Thought gets on a fucking song, you can't tell me that nigga does not just drop crazy bars and has usually the best verse, because he is just always on point. His pen is always sharp. And the same thing with Questlove. Like, he's become a legendary hip-hop drummer. He has become the hip-hop drummer of like the entire genre. Like, when you think about hip-hop and drummer, Questlove is the first person you think of. And that just shows a testament to how much work they've put in, how much of an influence they have in this game, and just who they are as artists and as creators. So it's good to see the Roots separately and together doing great things, and I just hope that they continue to success. I know they got an album that they supposed to be dropping this year. I think it's called Endgame. Hope that's not the last Roots album. Hope they're not trying to say something, Roots. better not, goddamn it. Y'all got more gas in the tank. Don't fuck around. And NBC money ain't that good. Maybe it is. Maybe they can fat checks. They just said, fuck this music. We gonna just play for fucking Jimmy Fallon and be good. But that's gonna do it for today's CDK Studies, y'all. Hope you enjoyed me talking about my two favorite and most important albums from the Roots crew. They are legends, like I said. Definitely check out their shit if you're not up on the Roots. Black Thought is a beast. He always got crazy bars and crazy just lyrics all day. Questlove is an amazing producer and drummer, so definitely check out his shit. And all the incarnations of the Roots, because they've always had different members and whatnot, but no matter who's been in the crew, they've always put out quality work, and they will still continue to do that. And if anything, just turn on the Tonight Show, and you can see them there, and they be playing music, and sometimes, Black Thought will drop a verse or a freestyle. You never know what you're gonna get, but the Roots are everywhere now. You can watch the shit, listen to the shit, check them out. They deserve all the success in the world. Hope they continue making more music and getting them NBC checks, because I know it's nice. Previous videos on the side, some fucking word. You know how I fucking do, as well as my latest single. Check that out, show us some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below. CDK Studies every week, once a week now, y'all. Don't get on me, but it's once a week, goddamn. We gotta spread this shit out. But it's dope. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button so you can know when the shit drops. And I mean, we back in effect. So what's coming up next week? We got a whole week to think about who I'm bringing next week. Like I said, it's 20 more videos. After this, 19 to go. Who is in that bunch? I know, but y'all don't. And that's the beauty of it. So until next time, I'm gonna take my leave. Granddad, the Roots crew, crazy legends, crazy albums. Check out their shit. If not, go watch the Tonight Show. At least do that shit and watch that shit. I mean, I'm not a late night talk show person, but I'll watch that shit. The Roots gonna be doing some shit, because they always on point. I'm out of here.